Hey, how's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to the Diaries of an Average Futures Trader. It's currently 15 minutes since the market has closed in the US. It is Monday, August 21st. And I just wanted to go through how I'm doing on the EVAL accounts that I'm doing through Apex. So, you've been following my content for a while. I've switched from trading my own money to now using Apex, a prop firm, to be able to pass their evaluation so I can trade the money they have and hopefully be able to make an income from it as a 1099 contractor. So what I normally do with these content, I like to go through on how the market is doing. So for today, most of the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been pretty much diverging from S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. It was actually a positive at one point today after being down at least 200 points. So it was quite a great recovery. NASDAQ, it finally snapped its 4-day losing streak. A lot of that is due to NVIDIA, and that was going to have their earnings. I believe it was earnings today. I need to double check. I don't follow NASDAQ too closely. However, a lot of the movement really has something to do with the 10-year treasury yield hitting its highest level since 2007. So with that article, you can see here that the yield went up by more than 8 basis points, and it's going near the levels in 2007. So a lot of articles like these are, I don't know, you take it with a grain of salt, but it's up to you as a trader to decide whether it's something that'll affect how you trade or not. But one thing that I do really want to point out for this week that's important is the Jackson Hole Summit on Thursday. So this Jackson Hole Summit is when the feds and other central government officials will be meeting up, and just as you know, every time Jerome Powell speaks, that can definitely move the market. So be aware of that if you're trading it. But now let me go through how I'm doing on my Apex. And before I go through my Apex, I wanted to show you an Excel sheet that I'm using to track how much I've spent so far on Apex itself. So I've been taking advantage of 50% off on their EVAL. So this first account here that I'm using, let me use my pen, which makes it nice. So this first account here was actually a 100k static account. That's why it's 78.50. And then the second one here, the 002, was a 50k full account, and 50% off of that was $93.50. Unfortunately, for 3 and 4 that I did open on, so right now, August 13th was when I opened it up. So we are on day 6 of these first 2 accounts, and I'll show the values later. So these, we've already met the goals for these 2. So really, I'm just finishing the 7 days, and hopefully by tomorrow evening, I'll be on a PA account. The next 2, the 3 and 4 here, unfortunately, I blew those 2 up. And I did reset the 3 and 4, and that's how we have 5 and 6. However, from 5 and 6, I again blew up number 5. However, number 6 is still going on. And then this past weekend, I decided to open 4 more 50k accounts. So 7, 8, 9, and 10 are still doing okay. So right now, we have a total of 7 accounts that we're doing an eval on. And I have spent $818 so far on these accounts. So if you're not familiar with how evaluations and prop firms are, that's the reason why I'm going through this, because it is my first time doing this. So $818 account, but to be able to control over $400,000, I think that's not too bad at all. So next, I want to go through how I'm actually doing on my account, but let me just make sure I turn on the necessary filters to hide my personal information. So as you know, before I go through that, I still use Thinkorswim to pretty much do my analysis. However, I just pretty much do my analysis here, the normal trading I've been doing the past few years, and I execute on Tradeovate and just using the DOM to enter and exit the trades. So Tradeovate essentially looks like this, and I will focus on how our performance was for today, and then after that I'll go through the 2 trades should there be of interest on how we actually perform on those. So oops, wrong one. Give me a all right, so there you go. So thankfully all 7 accounts did get a profit today. So I was mentioning this first one, this first, oops, that's not, I want to make sure you can actually see that. Let me just make it smaller. Okay, so this first 2 right here, I've already met the target goal. As you can see, I hit the 2,000 for the 100K static, and I'm above the 3,000 on the 50K account. So that's the reason why for this one, I'm just trying to get to the 7 days. So hopefully I'll have a PA account tomorrow. This next one here is a 50K account that I'm still trying to reach the goal. Right now it's at 519. So I need to hit $3,000 profit on this one. But this one is a bit concerning because my drawdown is pretty close to there. So if the value ever falls below 48,794, then this account will be blown up. And then next, let me use a different color here. Quite happy with this next 4 that I started this week. As you can see, I use a copy trader or a trade copier. So I just focus on one account and then it mimics that on the other account. So that's a nice advantage that I was not aware of before. And it was pretty healthy profits on those. So now you can see that we're trying to reach 53,000 for each of these accounts. And once we hit that, and we've been trading for 7 days, and then these 4, or really this 5 accounts would then be becoming a PA account. So right now I'm gonna probably stop at 7 accounts because it's pretty expensive. I hope I maintain these 7 accounts. And should there be a sale from Apex for the upcoming Labor Day weekend, since I've seen them do sales of up to 90% in the past, then that's when I will try to see if I am able to handle up to 20 accounts, which is the maximum that you can have with the Apex account. So it's pretty easy. Actually, I don't like using the word easy. Let me say it's good to scale up, but it's definitely important to scale up very slowly because out of the 10 accounts, I've already blown 1 or really 2, and right now we have about 7 that's left. So I'm doing my best to be careful with that, and hopefully with this journey I can show you the actual payouts. So for anyone who's been on the fence like me for a few years, you'll see what it's actually like to have a going through an EVAL account. So next I'm just gonna go through the trades if there's interest in that. Again, it's important. We all have our journey and our way of trading, so I say it's pretty important for you to figure out what works for you. And these are the 2 trades that I did take. I'm just going to show it here quickly because I don't use Tradeovate to trade, and I'll switch to Thinkorswim just to give you the reasons why I did enter these trades. I just wanted to pretty much show this as a proof that, look, I did make a trade last night. So see here, entered at 34,590 and then averaged down at 570 and then another average down at 550. That's just the way I trade because I know that I can never be right the first time 100%. That's why position sizing is important. And if my thesis is correct that it'll go up, then I'll stick through it. But I know what my max limits are. So I had 3 different entries there. And finally we were able to exit at 34,601 or so, which was a pretty good exit. And this was pretty late at night, 12:44 in the morning my time. And as you can see, it shot up to about 34,700 here. Someone could say, oh, I left a lot on the table, but with what I'm doing with the eval, I think I'm doing well doing this because I don't want to do a trailing stop. I just want to hit it at the top and exit and take the profit. So that's one of the trades. And then the other trade that I took was down here. So this was this morning. Again, it's not my ideal entries, but I'll go through on Thinkorswim why I entered this one. You can see here, entered at 386, and then averaged down at 366, and then at 336, and able to exit here at about 411. And of course left a lot on there, but I hit my target for today, so I'm not gonna have any FOMO on this run up that I more or less, you could say, I missed out on. Now I'm gonna switch to Thinkorswim just to show you those exact trades and why I'm doing my analysis really on Thinkorswim is because it's what I'm used to. It's what I've been using for a few years, and it's just cleaner for me. I have more indicators I need, and really just stick with the tools that will help you be successful. Alright, so when I trade, I always use a time-based chart on the left and a tick base on the right. So the time base on the left, each candlestick is 5 minutes, and on the right, tick base, each candlestick is 512 ticks, and it is in Heikin Ashi. So if you look through my previous contents, I always try to do examples of these trades, and also on the description, it's also there on why I do enter or exit should you need the text for it. And let me zoom in on this one. Actually, let's see a better way for me to show this. Pardon me while I figure this out. Okay, there you go. That's a lot cleaner. So with this entry I made here, the reason for it is I do go long when the stochastic RSI is on the overbought side, and I do that when a crossover occurs. So you can see not as pronounced here, but a crossover did occur, and then on the tick base side it also matched that. You can see that my stochastic RSI was on the overbought side, and then the MACD had crossed over. Of course, when the MACD, or MACD is moving average convergence divergence, is below the zero line, it's a little harder to really go long on it because it's below the zero line, which is pretty bearish. However, I tend to do that sometimes based on what I probably see on the 1 hour chart. And also, it's always tough to do counter trend trading, so always be careful of that, because in the past I've had an issue of trying to catch a falling knife. So this could have been a falling knife, as you can see how it dipped so much by that. But I was pretty confident on the position I was on. Sometimes it's important to be able to handle a trailing, to give your trade some room to breathe a little bit, and that's why position size was important to me. And I was able to ease in and enter more as it went down, able to average down to a point where we had an average of 34,363 on this one. And based off of that, able to exit closer to about 34,400. So my target right now is minimum 20 points, but it's one of those with targets. Really, it's good to have, but it's not something I really recommend. It's more really, I know you hear this a lot, but just focus on the process, and the more screen time you have, you'll know if you have a runner come in or you need to cut your losses. Because there's been times in the past when I've been trading where I have a daily goal of $1,000, for example, and I'm already at $950, but I refuse to exit because I want to hit that $1,000. And because I refuse to exit, I end up losing all of that $950. So just a bit of a psychology there that to be aware of. Yes, it's sort of good to have a target, but don't make it a hard target. Just pretty much see what the chart is giving you, see what the market is giving you, and go from there. So anyway, so I went a little long today. I'll try to keep it shorter next time. Pretty happy again with the progress of how we're doing, and that progress, I'm just gonna put it up on the chart here for everybody to see. Give me a second, and let me adjust this a little bit. So again, this was our performance for today. Pretty happy. Again, it's paper money, it's not real money, folks. I wish I had, what is that, $400,000 to trade, but I don't, and that's why I'm trying to show that I am a good trader, so I'm able to pass it, and Apex will be able to give me the ability to really trade that amount and be able to make money from it. Anyway, that's my content. Again, a little long. Appreciate your time, appreciate your support. Thank you for following me on this. My main goal is really to show you the process from signing up to pretty much hopefully getting from our EVAL to our PA account, and then from a PA account after 10 days to be eligible for a withdrawal. Alright, so that's my content. I appreciate again your time, and I'll see you probably tomorrow when hopefully we'll be able to get to EVAL account to a PA account. Alright, y'all have a good one, and thanks for tuning in.